On the banks of Africa's vast savanna, powerful lions transcend time and space. They are the kings of the wild, fearless warriors, and symbols of strength and beauty. Here, where the plains are saturated with the spirit of adventure, the terrifying roar of lions echoes across the land as they roam proudly with their massive bodies, their shimmering manes glowing under the blazing sun, constantly seeking challenge and combat to assert their dominance over vast territories. Among these lions that carry a long legacy of battles and victories, who fought for survival and the preservation of their kingdoms, rises King Makulu, the leader of the deadly Mapogo coalition, one of the largest and most ferocious coalitions in recent memory. Documentaries have praised this dominant lion for his courage and immense strength. He earned his special place among legendary lions in the famous Sabi Sands Reserve, an area bordering Kruger National Park, known for its fierce and diverse lion coalitions. Makulu, along with his brutal coalition, invaded many lands and mercilessly wiped out lion prides they encountered. Not even lionesses or cubs were spared from their wrath. Their bloody battles became a terrifying legend told across Africa and the world. Although coalitions with as many as 6 lions are rare, since leadership disputes often break them, Makulu and his brothers stood out as the largest coalition at the time. They ruled over many prides scattered across the vast reserve, completely reshaping the region's ecosystem by exterminating rival male lions and destroying habitats, from the smallest prey to massive hippos, towering giraffes, and even elephants. Makulu, the wise and courageous killer, mastered the art of ruling with brutal tactics alongside his brothers. Unlike other coalitions, Makulu's group killed and devoured nearly every lion they faced, leaving a bloody mark that echoed through lion history. His life, full of challenge and bloodshed, made him a living legend. His name became forever tied to endurance, survival, and unshakable dominance in the wild. Elsewhere, in northern Kenya, another lion rose to fame in the rich and biodiverse Masai Mara Reserve. His name was Scarface, the world-renowned lion whose image and legacy spread through documentaries and photos. He was known for his immense strength, unmatched intelligence, and his absolute control over rival prides. He too formed a powerful coalition and fought legendary battles to dominate the vast lands of the reserve. This legendary king ruled for 12 years over nearly 400 square kilometers of forest and savanna in the Mara. His famous scar, earned in a 2013 raid with his lion brothers, nearly cost him his right eye and gave him his iconic name. Over the years, Scarface displayed unmatched courage and power. With his great wisdom, he gave equal authority to his brothers to prevent rebellion, proof of his cleverness and political genius. He earned the respect of all creatures during his reign, walking past deadly predators, including crocodiles, without fear. Even hyenas dreaded him. No one dared approach his territory. He became a symbol of strength and emotion in the hearts of wildlife lovers around the globe. But despite the difference in time and place, if we were to imagine a showdown between these two terrifying lions, Makulu and Scarface, it would be a fight of epic proportions. A bloody clash filled with tactical brilliance from two seasoned warriors. If such a meeting ever happened, it would likely take place on neutral ground, both lions seeking to dominate it. The sun would blaze overhead. Silence would fill the air. Everyone would await the eruption of a massive battle as hearts race and adrenaline surges. Here stands Makulu, the brave and experienced lion, battle-hardened alongside his father. He would wait, sniffing out the challenge coming from Scarface, the stubborn lion with the terrifying roar. Scarface, with his scarred face and intimidating look, might open the confrontation with a mighty roar to scare off Makulu. But Makulu, a master at provoking his opponents, would not be intimidated by the king's fearsome presence. A cold war would unfold, intense stares, light skirmishes, and probing attacks, until one of them finally launches the first blow. The ground would shake beneath them as one charges violently. Scarface, known for his agility, would likely dodge skillfully. Makulu, the aggressor, would continue leaping high, jaws wide with deadly fangs, trying to land a fatal blow. After a series of attacks and counters, Makulu might manage to injure the mighty king. In return, Scarface would unleash his own strength, landing a painful hit that forces Makulu to retreat briefly. But the fight would not end. The bloody duel would rage on until one lion fell. And despite mutual injuries, Makulu, the wild and dangerously powerful, might finally pin Scarface to the ground. After a long resistance, the legendary king would collapse. Makulu would emerge as the victor, but gravely wounded. His body marked with deep scars, proof of Scarface's unmatched bravery and grit in one of the most brutal lion battles ever imagined. A battle between two kings who ruled with iron claws and spread fear and death for years across their vast kingdoms. The lion territories of the Okavango Delta are home to many dangerous predators. Here in Kakanika, a vital part of the delta, two strong male lions dominate a pride that is expanding gradually, with many hungry mouths waiting to be fed. This pride specializes in hunting Africa's most dangerous prey, but the growing number in the pride and the ongoing drought have led to a clear famine, forcing the pride to search for food beyond their territory. This results in fierce clashes with nearby prides and coalitions, pushing them to adopt dangerous strategies that will test their survival skills. Our story begins at the start of summer, when two brother lions seized control of one of the most sought-after lands in southern Africa, rich in diverse resources, in the Kakanika region of Botswana. This area is a fertile zone of islands and floodplains. The pride living there had been unstable due to long-standing battles for dominance among rival males. As a result, the 6 lionesses hadn't given birth in over a year. But when the two powerful brothers took control of the Kakanika pride, things began to change. Under their new leadership, breeding resumed quickly, and soon the first 2 lionesses gave birth to 5 cubs. 3 months later, 3 more lionesses gave birth to strong cubs, bringing the total number of cubs to 8, and eventually to 13. Fearing the dominant males, each lioness stayed isolated with her cubs for the first 2 months. These cubs, born in the peak of summer, had good chances of survival, but such a high number of healthy cubs would eventually pose serious challenges. At just 3 months old, the cubs began eating meat. This meant the adult lions, both males and females, had to hunt more frequently to feed the cubs, requiring a meal every 3 or 4 days. The cubs were welcomed by the dominant males. The Kakanika brothers were patient and tolerant fathers, allowing the cubs to find their place in the coalition's social structure. They even helped them sharpen their skills in preparation for future hunts and protection duties. The lionesses were the pride's core. They were expert hunters with exceptional teamwork, targeting large African buffalo during summer. These buffalo moved in massive herds of at least 400 and were among the most dangerous prey. A single buffalo, weighing nearly a ton, could feed the pride for a week, but hunting them was extremely risky due to their deadly horns. Only teamwork could bring them down. The 6 seasoned Kakanika lionesses knew how to engage. They provided ideal prey for the 6-month-old cubs to practice hunting, preparing them for independence. The younger 3-month-old cubs were led to the kills by their mothers. At that age, they found the pile of meat both delicious and entertaining. In a unique trait of the Kakanika pride, both adults and cubs ate side by side, unlike most prides where males eat first and cubs last. Perhaps the abundance of food allowed the pride to ease up on rules and privileges, although discipline was still occasionally necessary. During the summer, as buffalo grazed in Kakanika, the pride enjoyed steady meals. But when winter arrived, the rains stopped, and the lion's fortunes began to shift. Huge elephants also roamed the region, arriving from the surrounding Kalahari Desert to spread across the forests and floodplains, especially near shrinking waterholes, as extreme heat dried up the vegetation. For the elephants, the key attraction in Kakanika was the permanent water. These giant animals needed between 100 and 200 liters of water daily, which they could drink in just 5 minutes by filling their trunks and pouring it into their throats. The cubs had no idea of the hardships ahead. To them, the lion territories of the Okavango Delta are home to many dangerous predators. Here in Kakanika, a vital part of the delta, 2 strong male lions dominate a pride that is expanding gradually, with many hungry mouths waiting to be fed. This pride specializes in hunting Africa's most dangerous prey, but the growing number in the pride and the ongoing drought have led to a clear famine, forcing the pride to search for food beyond their territory. This results in fierce clashes with Though giraffes lacked buffalo horns, they had lethal kicks capable of killing a lion instantly. So long as buffalo were in Kakanika, the lions focused on the more accessible prey. But the season had changed, and the buffalo had grazed every field bare, forcing them to migrate elsewhere. The lions trailed the buffalo, watching from a distance, waiting for the right moment to strike. Moving slowly, they used their classic technique, isolating the target and attacking without being seen. Sometimes this could take days just to assess the herd and find a weak spot before seizing the chance. When the terrified buffalo herd tried to defend their fallen member, chaos erupted. One large buffalo challenged the coalition, while its injured companion tried to escape. Another buffalo charged the standing victim, disappearing into the herd, declaring victory. The starving coalition had to regroup quickly for another hunt. There was no time to take the driest route, especially not for the exhausted cubs struggling to keep up. Each foodless day weakened them further. Some might not survive. Now it was midwinter. Times were about to get even harder. This was the peak of the dry season. The buffalo kept moving, seeking fresh grass. As their main food source vanished, the pride watched for any attack opportunity, regrouping despite hunger and harsh weather. One lioness gave birth to 2 more cubs, raising the total to 15 hungry mouths in desperate need of care and nourishment. The Kakanika coalition had never been more desperate. Meanwhile, the elephants arrived as the Okavango's edges dried. Non-picky eaters, they fed on whatever buffalo left behind, digging for bulbs and roots. At the edge of Kakanika lay an invisible border, ruled by another pride. Lions couldn't cross it, but buffalo could. As desperation grew, the Kakanika pride was tempted to follow, risking a deadly trespass into enemy land. A Kakanika lioness observed the situation. She noticed the rival coalition's males were absent, giving them an advantage. The rival pride's cubs and lionesses couldn't withstand the might of the dominant Kakanika male. For the next 4 months, the borders remained contested. Elephants passed through, and the pride kept moving, hunting anything edible. They ignored the elephants, for now, as they were too big to bring down. The starving lions returned to the 6th lioness and her newborn cubs, just 2 months old, too young to join the pride's long food searches. Some were left behind, too weak to follow, and soon paid the price. Hunger was growing. the lions had to reconsider. The elephants were now their only chance at survival. The cubs were too weak to keep up, and over half had already died. The rest wandered from mother to mother for milk. Even the strongest cubs had only a few days left to live. Weak, hungry, and thirsty, they huddled together. But the lionesses, never giving up, scanned the horizon one more time for something, anything, to eat. All they saw were massive elephants. The smaller ones, vulnerable to attack, were well protected. There was no more time. The lionesses began tracking the herd, hoping a calf would be injured or fall behind. For such calves, this was the worst time to be alone. Eventually, this final strategy paid off. One calf lagged, and the lionesses seized their chance, surrounding the 2-ton animal, trying to bring it down. They were experts at killing buffalo, but had never killed an elephant. Their teeth couldn't pierce the thick skin. The neck was too thick to choke. So, in extreme hunger, they began eating it alive, a horrifying scene. After nearly a month without meat, the fresh flesh revived the pride. The elephant calf, twice the size of a buffalo, became a perfect meal and a new food source. Over the following weeks, the lions refined techniques for elephant hunting. But when the elephants retaliated, the lions had no choice but to flee. With each attempt, they grew bolder until elephant kills became routine. Their success didn't go unnoticed. The rival pride, also starving after the buffalo left, grew desperate and risked a confrontation. The Kakanika coalition would not tolerate intrusions on their territory or food. When the rival pride entered their land, chasing them off wasn't enough. One young male was cornered by the mighty Kakanika lion, Victor. The young lion dared not look him in the eye. Direct eye contact was a death challenge. He submitted, and Victor circled him in triumph. But then he bit his genitals to show dominance and cruelty. Meanwhile, the other Kakanika male forced the intruding female to mate, while the others fled. Under October's dry skies, wave after wave of elephants crossed the land. Despite the permanent water, dry vegetation meant poor nutrition. Weak calves wandered from the herds and became easy prey. The once desperate hunting now became gluttonous. In 1 month, they killed 5 elephants. Summer approached, the rains returned, and Kakanika burst back to life. The herds returned, especially elephants moving to their summer feeding grounds in the distant Kalahari. Like magic, the brutal season seemed forgotten in the wave of renewal. After an extreme season and a long battle for survival, only 7 of the 15 cubs survived. They thrived once the buffalo returned, bringing with them a ton of meat, thinner hides, and short snouts, perfect for choking. The deadly cat and mouse game resumed. Over the next 6 months, the year-old cubs learned to hunt by experience and from their skilled mothers. Surviving the harshest season gave them newfound confidence. With the herds back, they gained more survival lessons, soon becoming skilled hunters. They now approached buffalo with calm determination. As always, the lionesses led the charge, surrounding and attacking from behind, avoiding the deadly horns. They aimed for the spinal cord, leaping onto the buffalo's back to bring it down. The cubs mimicked their mother's takedown tactics. With steady meat supplies through summer, the young lions grew strong. In 6 months, they would be a self-sufficient killing force. With food at their doorstep, they spent most days resting and gaining weight. By the end of the rainy season, they marched confidently with the adults. The pride now had 14 hunters. They followed every move of their fathers, learning when to attack, wait, hide, or strike. Nearing maturity, they joined the two Kakanika males in direct buffalo attacks. The epic battle ended in a lion victory. In this ever-changing world, the Kakanika pride found stability again, thanks to the two strong males and the large group of young lions, a guarantee of the pride's future. Life in the Okavango will always be unpredictable. The future is never clear. Soon, the strong young males will be exiled by their fathers to forge their own paths, facing drought, hunger, and fierce rivals alone, ready to carve their legacy into the wild.